Yeah, so obviously I was wrong. I did a little map and compass last night, and what I thought was going to be like, no problem, turned out to be potentially a big problem for Craig. So actually, I'm a little fearful. The map, on my little map, that's what it pointed to. So I don't know how I'm going to get up that. It looks like solid white kind of granite on the top. But besides that, I slept great last night. Didn't have to get up once, which is probably not a good thing, but I didn't. So as you can see, the lake is just incredible. It is really warm this morning. I have my normal hiking, clothes on right now. I'm talking a little bit quiet. I don't know if you can notice this, but I have the video at 60 frames per second instead of 30. It's supposed to smooth things out a little bit. So we're gonna see how that goes. Since it's a kind of a short day, I'm not gonna blow out the memory or the disk space on my phone and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, so the big deals are these two big peaks today. That's what it's all about. After that, it's just kind of, cruisy, according to the map. But it should be really, really good. So I feel great this morning. Everything's working. I mean, it's just fantastic. So, big day, great sleep, super quiet. Oh, I did hear stuff outside my tent last night. I think it was the deer. I can recognize kind of the hoof prints on the ground. And that was it. It wasn't a problem at all. I just had my food in my food bag just right next to me. So it was pretty cool. There are some chipmunks around. So this is taking me right along the stream, or the lake. Well, good morning. It's day 2 and it's 6:22. The peak on the left, the white one, and then one on the right. I think those are the two peaks I have to hike up this morning. I was wrong yesterday. So, yeah, so this is my morning walk right here. So, this is really something, isn't it? Yeah, those are the two peaks. As far as I know, I could be totally wrong, and I really hope I am. Good morning from the Wallowas Ice Lake. I can't even get the whole thing in. Yeah, that's remarkable. Good morning. So I'm at the far side of the lake here, and you can really see it's a nice little beach right there. That would be very cool. All right, so I think I just go up to the right here a little bit, and then it's pretty much a straight shot toward the top. There's not a lot of switchbacks. All right, hike on. All right, just finished crossing the stream the last time. This is very encouraging, actually. That's about a 700, 800 foot climb, and it's about 1.5 miles, so it's not very long. So I'm gonna have breakfast at the top. And if you look at the trail, it's actually like a legitimate trail that people use, which, is actually very encouraging to me, because I don't want to be like, the only guy up here kind of thing. Wow, well, my watch has about 8,700. And this is definitely like a day hiker kind of thing, because this trail is just ridiculous. It's pretty much straight up. I'm super tired right now. I'm taking tiny little breaks because my legs start getting super heavy, which is not good. It just doesn't work. But you can see how much I've gone up. There's the lake down there. You can see there is sometimes a slight little breeze coming up the valley. So that's bringing the smoke in. But we're also looking into the sun here. So we were looking at the top of that peak from the campsite. So this is some of the ridgeline, hopefully. I'll be, sorry, I'm a little shaky here. I don't think that's it. I think that's the second peak. Sacajawea. I can't see the main one yet. I got to get up over this little ridge line right here. So it's about, oh, the time, it's about 7:08. So I mean, I haven't been hiking that long. So I mean, I'm doing great, but you know, it's harder when there's not other people on the trail, particularly young folks, because I typically pass them, and then you know, I get a little extra energy from that, a little more encouragement. So when you're by yourself, it's definitely harder. Yeah, the stoke's not happening yet, but I bet you at the top of the peak it's going to be, though. Oh, I can see a little top of the peak right up there. Cool. I'm getting close here. Woo! I think that must be Sacajawea Peak, and then the Mattahorn is what I'm headed for. Look at the hike up there. Looks like people might have tried that, or that's just water. I don't know about that. But I figure I better get a shot of this because I'll be going straight into the sun pretty soon. All right, well, this is the first snow of the trip right here. Check the map. Trail kind of goes all over up here, but it does go right up here, and you can actually see a little bit of it. So, oh wow, look at the pinnacles down over here. Whew, zoom in on those a little bit. Oh yeah, that's cool. Of course, Ice Lake is, you know, down there. About 8,900 feet right now. These purple flowers right here. There must be a chute somewhere around there. It looks like there's a trail there, but that is not our trail, though. I checked on the map. All right, well, I'm stopping for some breakfast. It's about 7:30 right now. I think I need some more energy. And I heard something on the snow. And I don't know if you can see this, but if you look at the outline on the snow, well, you can see in the outline the ridge right there. Those are, you know, white sheep. I don't know, what do you call them? Bighorn sheep? I don't know, mountain goats. But there's a mom and a baby sitting on the snow, just inside the snow there. So that's pretty, they're looking at me. I think they want to come my way, but anyway, that's pretty cool. You don't get to see that every day. All right, so that's my trail right in front of me. I don't know if that's it right up there. I cut across, but somehow, obviously, I got to hike on the back side of that thing. There's, hopefully, this is the steep side, and then we have the, you know, side you could walk on the other side. But that is just an incredible granite face. If you just take a look at that, that's amazing. I should be traversing that. Hopefully I can do that. All right, time for some breakfast. All right, so I just had my breakfast, had a Pop-Tart and some oatmeal. Starting to bulk up on Celsius. So I'll be hiking on the other side of that. That's gonna be the next push. I'm pretty full of food right now, so I gotta take it slow for a minute and relax. It's 7:50, so it's gonna be 8 o'clock here by the time I start, I think. So that's my trail right there. I don't know where it's gonna go over there, I really don't. So that's where I just kind of hung out right there. And I've been literally just blessed with watching a whole family of, or group or herd or whatever, of the sheep over here. They're all in the snow. There's about 12 of them. And there's a couple little ones. And they just jump around. I've seen them literally jump and twist like 180 in the air. And actually an older one did that too, or maybe it's not a baby, I don't know. But that's been quite a treat. Yeah, if you count them, I know you can't count, they're grouped together a little bit, but there's about 12 of them. So I didn't expect anything like that. It was pretty cool watching them all come over the ridgeline too. This is something you don't get to do every day. You get to transition from the dark stuff right in to the middle stuff. And I'm going to get into the white stuff. Wow. Hey guys, just kind of startled these guys. He's got a little one. There's another mama with her. So you can see the trail. It goes up kind of on the back of this. It goes on up, but I need to get by both of these without freaking them out. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, I need to get by these. Getting closer. I'm still on the red rock. I'm gonna have to transition to the white rock, but you can see there's a path up to the top on the rock now. Don't even get close to that though. Well, I made it up that initial steep stuff. Still got a long ways to go, and I'm moving really, really slow. So I got a whole new view right here on the other side. I'm still not on I'm gonna be on the other side of these mountains later today, hopefully, but now you get a good shot of the Wallowas. Looks like the Sierras, doesn't it? I call it the mini Sierras. The lake down there probably freezes solid. And I'm probably gonna go over a lot of those passes that you can see in the distance here. And then there's Ice Lake down there. And you can kind of see my trail down there. So, yeah, so we're heading up above, and then I don't know how that's gonna, I hope that looks a lot different on the other side. I don't think I'm gonna go with that one. That just looks too sketch. But what I find is when you get closer to these, a lot of times they're not as gnarly as they seem from far away. All right, that's definitely the trail. And right in that pass up there, there's a couple sheep. You can see them. Really see one now. They're kind of gone. Okay, that is my trail right there. Yeah, isn't that great? Jeez. All right, here we go. Well, I'm working my way up this face right here, and it's switchback and right to me. Trails all over, so you just kind of make one. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right there. Pretty cool. So I have to go up here and just up a little bit higher. I'm super close right now. There's Ice Lake way down there. All right, I think that's something up there. But I'm coming over the top here. Just kind of what it looks like. I have no idea what the other end of this looks. Whoa. That's where I don't want to be. Wow. I think I'm going to be down in that valley right here. Well, I'm at the top of something here. Wow. I sure hope I can keep going, because I don't want to go back down when I just went up. Yeah, that was right at the edge. My comfort level, I'm tired. My legs are tired. When they're tired, get a little shaky, and that's not good. It's not good. So, yeah, I'm right up here at the top. A little sandy. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to plan out my trip here. Wow, this is it right here. This is the top. Cow, man. This is about as high as it goes. I think that Sacajawea, that's a little higher. And there's a trail down there, so I'll probably go up there. I don't know what happens next. Wow. Let's do a quick little 360 here. Somehow I'm going down to that canyon today. I'm going to walk it. I'll probably camp right down there somewhere. I'm not going to go up in those mountains. Oh man. I'm going to be going over there, over here, and all around there. I still have a long ways to go to get back to the car. Woo! All right, let's go. Well, I'm working my way down, and you know, it might not look that gnarly, but this is the face of the granite, you know, right next to me. So I'm really not having a lot of fun right now, and it just drops off over there. But I think I've got the worst of it behind me. I really hope so. Yeah. I was videoing my face on that last one, sorry. So that's why I just came down. And that's not fun. And it's because right over on the edge, that's the massive granite wall. It's like literally, you know, 12 feet out. But that's the clearest of the rock. So I'm making my way down, and then it should, you know, flatten out a little bit, and you know, I can go back up over there. So yeah, this is a little beyond my comfort level for sure. Okay, so I made it down that. So this is why I was just, you know, pretty much freaking out. Struggle's right by the edge there, but I went behind that rock right there. I didn't want to, you know, risk it. It's not that it's overly steep. It's just that the cost of a fall is going to hurt, no matter how little. I'm out in the freaking middle of nowhere. So I'm down here on the flat area. So looks like it's a pretty good shot to the top of that peak right there. That's Sacajawea, and I should wrap around to the left and start going down from that. I really don't think I'm going to that far peak right there, and I really hope I don't have to do that. I don't want to, and I don't think I do. This is the big one right here. Okay, you're not gonna believe this. Hole in the ground, man. Look at that. I can't even see where it is. Wow. That's where I'm going. Well, I'm making good progress. This is where I came from. I still can't believe I did that. Like, I never want to do that again, ever. The good news is there's not a cloud in the sky. Oh, a little tiny over there. And it's like, what, just about 9:30 right now. So it's still early in the day, plenty of time. And that's the really good news. So that's where I need to get up here. So I'm getting there. All right, this is a little more my style. Although it's easier to slip, but there is kind of a trail here. Oh, there's a lot of hoof prints though. Alright, so I made it. I think that might have been the top right there, pile of rocks. This should be Sacajawea. I don't see the trail down yet. this ice lake. So I'm really hoping that there's a little trail like right here that goes down below me and goes down there, because I do not think there's a little trail there, but you know, there's a lot of mountain goats too, so yeah. Well, we're gonna find out. So it's what time do we have? It's about 9:38, so doing great on time. And I just need to get off the mountains here. That's the goal. Man, that is just gorgeous though. Look at that. Woo! And I checked the map, and this is Mount Sacajawea, not what I just did. So the route goes all along the ridge line, and I have no idea what's up there at the top. I'm not comfortable with this. At all. I can survive this first part, but I don't know what's up at the top. I see the trail at the top of the coast, but that's beyond what I'm willing to do. So what that means, there's no other way out of here except going back down to Ice Lake. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's getting windy. So I think that's what I need to do. So my trip was going to be, I was probably going to camp down there. Just going to wrap around. I was really hoping right here there was a trail that went down there. There's no trail. Yeah, you could probably do it, but there is no trail. And of course I don't know what's around the corner. So I mean, there's no trail. So I'm not willing to do this, especially by myself. Wow, I've never ever got into a situation like this before. So the crazy stuff I went down, I'm gonna have to go up. Yeah. So, but there could be another alternative, getting out of here. But anyway, that's the way it is right now. So I really don't want to hike up that. I'm kind of done with that. So an option would be to go down here, and it looks fine, except you might not be able to tell it here, but there is kind of a line there, and I don't know what's below it. And I can't tell until I get over here. So I'm going to check there. If it looks okay, then I'll try and get down here, because I know once I'm down in that little basin, it's going to be fine. In fact, my trail is, that's my trail in the little gap right there. I could actually just meet it down there. But don't know. We'll find out though. Well, two guys were coming up when I was coming down there. They were coming up from Ice Lake, and I talked to them. I said, well, man, you're welcome to join us, because they're going to do the peak here, and then they're going to go to Sacajawea, and then they're going to turn around and come back to Ice Lake. And I'm thinking, it was super tempting. And now I see, I don't know if you can tell, but there is somebody at the top of Sacajawea Peak. I can tell it's a person there, because you can tell it kind of moves. So I had an opportunity, to go, but still looking at that's even if there's a couple guys with me, that's still something that, that would be great, but I don't really need to get used to that. That's not my kind of hiking. So, but anyways, I got to go back up this. Yeah, so here we go. All right, it's 10:34, and I'm back on the top of the Mattahorn Peak. This is kind of probably the main peak. I was on the one right behind me last time. I think this is a little higher. Okay, whatever, right? But so now I got to figure out, what am I going to go down where where I was tonight and camp there, or am I going to go back? I have to go back down to the valley where I was yesterday before I cut off to Ice Lake. There's no way out of here other than the route that I planned. So that's why I was like, should I go? So I'll take a look, and I kind of see generally, because I know the mountains here fairly well, so I kind of know where I need it to be tomorrow. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting the other way. However, it's going to be interesting. I'm like delirious, man. I gotta get off this mountain. All right, well, I'm off the face, but I mean, it's crazy, man. You know, the way the trail goes is just get one of these. It literally kind of goes. There's the drop right there, right? It literally kind of goes by the drop, and then it kind of goes up and around up there. Or you can kind of scree up there, which is probably a better thing to do. Man, that is no fun. Yeah, I'm all for, I'm a long distance hiker. And this has crossed the boundary to mountaineering, peak bagger, which is not me. So that's where I was, up at that peak right there. I didn't check in there either, so that's a bummer. So I'm gonna have to satellite text Katrina, because she's gonna wonder, like, what happened? You're not where you said you were gonna be. So she's probably getting a little worried. It's about 10:30, 11:02. So I'll probably get down somewhere here and have some lunch and figure out what I'm gonna do. So I got up trail a little bit, well, significantly, but I was kind of wondering what it would be like over in this little prairie area right here, a little flat area. You can see there's been a lot of sheep activity. It looked like they just kind of dust a bath. And it's not a problem. I just shoot on over. Trail's right across there. So somehow I got too low. Trail was over there. So I came down on this side of it. But I passed a couple gals. I don't know if you can see them, but they're going up real slow. And so they have a big old dog with them. They're going to go just to Mattahorn. And they said, oh, so that's Sacajawea. Right? Like, no, that's not. So, don't know about that. Woo. Beautiful. There's less smoke here right now, isn't there? Check it out. Isn't that cool? So I still don't know what I'm going to do yet. You know, I'm going to have lunch here in a little while. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. I don't have any sun stuff on either, so I need to make sure to put my sun pants on. But it is really hot without the wind, though, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do about sun protection too. So that's the snowfield up around the corner where the goats were this morning. And I kind of came down this right here. Cool picture of a goat really close to me. Skylined them. And yeah, so I was thinking about sliding down that, but I'm like, I need somebody to encourage me to do it, and I definitely would have done it. So I'm not gonna stop now. I'm gonna try and get down to Ice Lake and then have lunch. So I'm gonna cut across here and then I'll hit the main trail. So let's do a little stream fording here. Just kind of walk through a bunch of these really thin slabs. There's like a whole outcropping right here of this stuff. It's really beautiful. Some like right next to me too. Oh, you can't really see it, how slabby it is. Well, I'm getting closer to the lake. A few more minutes, I'll be down there. Well, before I tell you about my two falls, I just happened to see this on the trail. These are all little butterflies right there. Yeah. Amazing, huh? Well, I'm back at Ice Lake, and it looks prettier than it did this morning. There's like less smoke. And you can see right into the water. I don't know if you can see, probably can't see it in the camera. I don't see any fish cruising though, which is shocking. But so this is the trail I took this morning. So I'll tell you about my fall when I get to camp. Pretty much just a disaster coming down. All right, well, I'm taking my lunch break here. It's almost 1:30. No, 12:30. That's good. So now that I can tell you what these mountains are, that one is the Mattahorn. That one, I'll double check, but that is like a no-name. Sacajawea is not this, it's behind, it's not this, it's behind it. So what I did is I basically went up around here, kind of went there, and then went to the top, and then followed that up here. And then I saw Sacajawea, and I said, hell no. Stopped, started to go back, met a couple of guys, and then started on my way down. So let me tell you about that. All right, so like I said, it's 12:30. I just got back to Ice Lake, and on the way down, it was ridiculous. I mean, it was just as hard going down and going up. It was really scary actually going down because of the potential fall, that kind of stuff. Going up, it was just brutal. So once I got down, pretty much, I was getting close to the lake area, and it is I can't believe I even hiked that up this morning. It was just basically, you saw it, it's basically like straight up over rocks and stuff, and it's all just slaggy and sandy. It was nasty. So I was really tired, and I was getting hot. So you can see I did a dip. So that's why this is kind of hanging out. I mean, I feel a lot cooler now, but I was really hot. But I wanted to get to the lake, just to kind of get to the lake and just to get things together. Well, I did one of those things where usually when there's quick little switchbacks. And so you put your poles on the downhill side. So if you fall, you put your hand on the uphill side. But I forgot to do that. I was getting tired. I had my hands with the poles on the uphill side. So I first time I didn't have nose over toes, and I slipped. Put my hand down with the poles in them, and my hand went flat, and I felt something, and I looked, and my pinky here was like, I'm like, oh crap, I broke a finger. I'm like, no, I didn't. And so I literally just went, I pushed it back together, and it popped in. So I dislocated pinky. It looks normal now, and it's okay unless you've bend it a certain way. So I'm sure it's going to swell up. So now I, dislocated my pinky. I mean, I'm so thankful. I could have really got hurt up there. So then about, a couple of minutes later, I slipped again. And I'm just like, oh, Craig, this is just, I didn't hurt myself. But I'm like, I'm going to hurt myself. So I got to calm down and get down to the lake. And one of the ways to calm down is to do a hoodie dip, right? Put that in the cold water. Somehow I got sand inside my sun hoodie. So I started to put it on. I'm like, it feels kind of gritty. So I feel it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got sand in my sun hoodie. Just one thing after another. So then I find there was sand in the bottom of this one spot. I guess I must have, hit the sand. Anyway, I got that all cleaned out, put it on, and I made it down without any other, things happening. So I'm not really even hungry right now. Super frustrating day. I feel zero stoke right now. So basically, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'll tell you one thing. I made the right choice, though. I made the right choice. When I look back at it, and I'm thinking, well, that doesn't look so bad. But then I realize I'm looking at the drill, and it's like a freaking slag, drop. So anyway, that's my situation. It's not doing great right now. I'm not going to camp here. I'll go down, and then I'll probably go to that 6 Mile campground. I need to get out of here tonight because it's Thursday, so tomorrow people are going to start streaming in here, and I gotta get like more than a day's in before people come. So, and the weird thing is there's no way out of this lake except the way in or what I was going to do. So otherwise I would have took it, but that's the way it is. So there's a story, all of its glory, and I'm going to have some lunch and figure out what to do next. Well, one of the really cool things about today is the mountain goats. And look at this, right at the lake. He's just cruising. Probably gonna come right up behind me. That's just unbelievable. He's looking right at me. The deer, and the goats, I guess they love this place. He is like, what? What's going on? No food for you. No food for you. You've been fed, haven't you? Yeah? Okay, keep going. Go away. Go on. Here we go. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. No. Go. 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 Beautiful though. All right, so I'm just about down. I can hear the river. It's right close to me, and you notice I got a trekking pole. I did have the trekking pole back there. Hopefully everything's okay. Had to yank it out. Why did I have to yank it out? Because I startled a bear with her cub. The mama went one way, the bear went the other, the baby bear went another way. I wasn't in the middle, but I wasn't completely to one side. So I saw the mama bear turn and look for the cub. And I didn't see the cub for a few minutes, but I was not in the middle because I kept, walking. And so they didn't hear me or see me. I wasn't making any noise, wasn't singing, I wasn't anything. And, when I came into view, they just went, bam, they just bolted, which is great, away from me, right? So that could have been an interesting situation for Craig. Yet another situation today. So I took out my trekking pole as quick as I could. That's really like the only, it makes me look bigger. How about that if I needed to do that? So anyways, yeah, this is an amazing long trail down. I can't believe I hiked up this yesterday in the afternoon. No wonder everybody's so worked when they get to the lake. Can't believe what I've done today so far. So about ready to get to the lake or the stream. Gonna cross it. Then got a couple more miles to go upstream. It's about 3 o'clock right now, so for sure by 5 I should be at the campsite. So quite a day, yeah. I'm just hiking through meadow after meadow right here. Same kind of thing, sloping down to the stream, the river to my right. One of my favorite pictures of all times was I was just laying with just like right in the grass with my first alpaca hoodie that I had, the green one, and I took a picture of myself, and that's one of my favorite pictures. So there's a lot of memories on this trail. Passed a bunch of people going out. One family that's gonna go up to Ice Lake tomorrow. We're gonna camp at the harbor that bridge is. So, and it's good to see some more people having a great time. I don't know if you can hear that. About 3:45 and it is thundering. So I just got my first drop, well, just a second ago. So we'll see what happens. Well, we got a legitimate thunderstorm here. It's raining pretty good. So I'm underneath kind of a tree here. Kind of thinking I want to wait it out. but it's really coming down now, so I'm just gonna wait a few minutes. I'm not soaked because it dries really quick, right? But it's wet. A lot of thunder. I've seen some lightning, haven't seen any lightning bolts, thankfully. Well, get this, sun's out. Sparkling trees. I don't know if you see that. But we definitely have sun out right here. Blue skies right there. Check that out. Hopefully stuff will dry out. And including my shoes. You know, the ground, even my hike today, the ground was really wet. It's still kind of early season here. I'd say mid-season. You know, the snow's melted on the big peaks and everything right now, but yeah. I still hear some thunder every once in a while. It's coming from my left, which would be, I guess, east. Yeah, but it's pretty calm now, that's for sure. I gotta be getting close to the meadow. All right, so it's about 4:15. Pretty much stopped in terms of the rain. I could see the light coming. It just took a little while for it to actually stop. But the trail is reminiscent on the light scale of that last night of the Colorado Trail. Me and Bougie went on. And I'm pretty much wet, but I'm not dripping. I was just hanging out underneath that tree and I didn't get dumped on. So, I mean, it's all, you can't really tell, but it's blue out there. So, it'll be okay. Would have been nice to be in the tent. That would have been kind of relaxing, but didn't quite do it. But the weather report from a couple days ago was correct. Supposed to get some thunderstorms. So this is why I wanted to make sure I got down off that mountain today. So it's really nice. Everything's wet. This is fantastic for fires, except for the lightning. There was definitely lightning. And it was just thunderbolt. I mean, just thunder constantly. That was really something. All right, so I'll probably have half hour or so before I get to camp. And then we'll get set up for the night. All right, so I'm just about ready to set up. Just so you know what I look like after today. I think that I was thinking when I look at my stats, the stats just don't tell the story of today. I was thinking that could be like the theme of the trip. The stats don't tell the story. All right, well, I got all my water from the stream that I camped by years ago, and it wasn't dirty. Most of the streams have some mud in them right now, and this one was clean, so that was good. So this is where I'm going to set up my camp, and check this out. This place is full of people right here. Is this crazy? And it's only like just about 5, almost 5. So it's gorgeous. So look at that. Well, I cleaned off, got my legs all nice and clean, which is great. Shoes are wet. Top is kind of wet. So let's see what everything looks like when I open up. Everything in the pack should be perfectly fine. Sun's still coming out. I don't know if these are Boy Scouts or what, but they're pretty stoked. Anyways, I got a really good tent set up. This course is a little damp in some areas, so I'm just gonna let that naturally dry out. And that's my sit pad, which I sleep on. So everything else is totally dry. You know, everything's just great. So Katrina's wondering why I went back. I just saw she messaged me back, so I'm gonna respond to her. Then I'm gonna get going with dinner. All right, so here's a summary for day 2. What a day, you guys! There's not much really to add except just the stuff that I don't know until I get to camp. So you guys know the gnarly thing was that I dislocated my left pinky on my left hand pinky, popped it back in, and get this, it's still working. it's a little sore, it's a little, you know, but it's working. So when I looked at it, I don't know if I told you, but it looked like kind of a Z. I'm like, oh, I broke my pinky. I'm like, no, that's by the knuckle. So I just quickly, from watching so much MotoGP, the first thing you want to do is snap it right back in. So I just, and it didn't even hurt, but it popped. I just, anyways, so you know how frustrated I was with the initial climb. I think just set me up for the whole, for the whole thing. That it was just straight up coming down was scarier than actually going up. Actually, let me tell you the truth. The fact that I only slipped twice was just a good thing, because it was just crazy. I mean, the amount of times I went straight down the rocks, because I knew there wasn't sand on them, I would do that up at the very top, and I was going from like peak to peak. It was just, it was insane. I'm actually never going to do that again. I just have no desire to do that. As I told somebody else, I think I might have said it already. Clearly, I'm a long distance hiker. I'm a hiker. I'm not the guy who likes to bag peaks. That's really not my thing. And I'm not a mountaineering guy. So I got kind of close to both of those. Now, could I have done it? If I would have saw those guys earlier, the two of them, I might have done it. But I'm not sure. I'm hoping I see those other two guys that I met that are going to Ice Lake tonight, and they're doing the same route I'm planning on. So I could actually see them tomorrow if at some point, or the day after maybe. It just really depends. So here are the stats and stats don't tell the story, right? Because I use trekking poles a lot going up. So right now I have 31,470 steps. So I know I have more than that. Calories, it's almost 3,000. So by the time I go to bed, I'll hit 3,000, which is pretty good. So the route then for today was I started at Ice Lake, went to Mattahorn Peak. I'm going to guess 3 miles. I don't know. It could have been less than that. And then I went to that second peak, which is the no name, and that's when I decided to not go to Sacajawea. And so I went back down to Ice Lake. And so each of those, and then I hiked from Ice Lake to the 6 Mile Meadow. So I re-intersected the trail split that I did yesterday, got back on that main trail in the valley and walked up that. So I'm saying, I don't really know exactly, but each of those, let's say they're around 3 miles. So that gives me about 12 miles today, which it feels a lot worse than that. But the elevation is kind of interesting. I started at about 7.9, went up to 9.8. Then when I turned around, I went back down to 7.9, then kept going down from Ice Lake to the trail intersection at 5,400. And then I hiked back up to 6,000 feet, which is where I am right now. So I don't know, you can do the math if you want to, but it was crazy. So, and of course I got rain at the end. Kicked up a mama bear and her cub. That was pretty scary. I'm really glad they were below me, because what I saw was something coming below me toward me, and not toward me, but parallel to me. I mean, I thought, what is that? It was just, I couldn't tell what it was. And then I thought, could that be like a bear cub? And then I looked to where it came from, and I saw the big bear, the mom, crashing through the woods going the other direction. I'm just like, oh crap. So I immediately got one of my trekking poles out as I was walking away. Thankfully the cub was below me. So when I went away, I wasn't in the middle of them. And I looked at the mama bear, because she was looking at the bear, where's my bear cub? And she wasn't looking at me, and she wasn't, coming toward me. So that was probably the closest encounter of a bear that could have been serious in my entire life. I've seen bears, but I've never seen a bear, a mama, and a bear cub, and it could have been interpreted that I was in the middle. So that was pretty sketchy. I was super silent too at that point. I was just trying to get down and not fall, really. So I wasn't even singing, and I didn't do any hey bears or anything like that, because the trail is pretty busy. So I'm thinking, why do I need to do a hey bear? Well, you know, there you go. So that was nice. Oh, the sheep were amazing. Not just the one that was too close, because they got, he got fed, but just the number of sheep and how close I was able to get, even up really high. I've never experienced anything like that before. So that was really special. And there were like ducks in the lake that I didn't tell you about, an ice lake at the far end. And so, I mean, I saw just a ton of nature. I got up really high. I could see everything up there. I could see where I'm going to go. I'm starting to recognize the mountains now. But just in general, one reason I didn't go to Sacajawea is because, I forgot to mention this, is that, once I get there, I got to do a significant down into the woods. And my experience has been, when you're not on a main trail, it may not be maintained. And I was in no physical mood to go thrashing through a semi-trail in the woods after all that I had gone through and would have gone through once I went to Sacajawea and then dropped down. So that was part of the whole mix. I'm like, you know what? I just can't do that. And I did make the right choice, but I'm telling you, it was really hard. It was like the hike of shame, going back down to Ice Lake and then coming back down here. It was something I've never experienced before. Hope I never have to do that again. But I'll do it again, because I think I did make the right choice. So, yeah, and I'm really bummed about the pinky. You guys don't know this, but when I get home from this trip, I have about 3 weeks, and then me and Gabrielle are doing the Sierra High Route. So we'll be doing a lot of this, not exactly what I did today, but we'll be doing a lot of this rocky, kind of climby stuff without trails. And so this could have potentially been a game changer on that, but it's fine. I can actually use it a little bit, so I think I'm going to be okay for the trail. I can use my trekking poles. I can eat. I can do my pack cover, twist that, key things. I can go to the bathroom, stuff like that. So I'll be okay. So I think about that's it for day 2. That's so much, so much. So tomorrow ought to be interesting. I'm going to go to the classic. It's the lake basin. I'm going to walk past Mirror Lake, and then I'll go up this Ivan Pass and drop into Minam Lake, and then I'll take the outlet of Minan Lake for a couple of miles, where there's a trail split, and I'm gonna camp there. I'm not sure how many miles that actually is, but it's not a ton of miles. I mean, it's got to be 10 though, at least. So anyway, considering what happened, I'm really fortunate that I'm basically going to camp tomorrow night where I was planning to originally, and it's not going to it's totally doable. So that's actually really amazing, because after that I'm going to go up Glacier Pass and hike past Glacier Lake, and which is just absolutely beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to that. And tomorrow's not going to be a crazy climb and stuff like that. But we'll have to go up and down, of course. But it's not going to be like today or the day before. So hopefully I get a good night's sleep, and then tomorrow, with that, then I can make it up Glacier Pass the day after that. I think I got to go up. I think that's, I don't know, whatever. It's too far ahead, I'm thinking. So, all right. So, good night from Craig on day 2.